Hello out there. It's me, Jennifer Wildman, and I'm here to tell you my leadership story. It is called How the Power of Data Turns Teachers into Leaders. This is a plaque from my desk at work, and it says, I guess we are who we are for a lot of reasons, and maybe we'll never know most of them. But even if we don't have the power to choose where we come from, we can still choose where we go from there. And that is my story. It all began a long time ago when I was the principal of Landmark Elementary School. And this is actually the back cover of this book right here called The Landmark Data Story, which is a book that we made at my school. We were a pretty new school. We had just opened about a year before this picture was taken. And we were a very low performing school when we first opened. I don't know if you know API, but our API was down in the 500s when we first started. It was like 590 something. Super low performing. We'd all been put together from 7 different schools. We had just opened for a year, and we were sort of crushed by that low API score. We were thinking we would do better than we had at our old school, and we were pretty discouraged. I had just become the principal. I was an assistant principal for about 8 months, and the principal went to the district office and she asked me if I wanted to apply for the job. I said no, no, thank you, and then I did it anyway. And got to be the principal and immediately was handed an HPSG grant, which is a high priority schools grant for about $1.5 million over a 3-year period. I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I was really scared, but I had read the books Results and Results Now by Mike Schmoker, and I flipped to the back of a book one day right before I drove off to a principal's meeting, and there was a phone number for Mike Schmoker's office, and he's the author of Results, and he talks about using data to make schools better. And I thought, well, I've got $1.5 million. Maybe Mike Schmoker can help me with some of that. Maybe I can use some of that money at our school. So I called up his office and he answered the phone. I almost drove off the road, and he's like, hi, this is Mike. And so this author of this book answered his own phone and talked to me for a little while and asked us if we would consider doing a data teams initiative with the Center for Leadership and Learning. So I brought it to my leadership team, and they very wisely decided that we would go ahead with this and we would do data teams at our school. We had no idea what that meant. We just knew someone was coming to help us and that we were going to go for it. We learned that data has to be used regularly and that student work is data, which was really exciting to us because we had thought data was graphs and numbers and all that abstract stuff. So we started to focus on writing. We actually got an MOU with our union so that our teachers would meet 2 hours every single week after school to look at student work and to look at writing. We actually walked around our school and did an evidence walk and looked for evidence of writing in our school. And when we walked around the first time and came back to the first meeting, we were in shock because we found out we didn't write at all. We still had our what I did for summer vacation writing up, and it was November. And we were a little embarrassed and kind of scared, but we decided to go for it. After a while, we also realized we really had no idea how to teach writing. None of the teachers really had any great strategies. None of us had any experience. We'd been doing it forever. I'd been a teacher already at that point for like 15 years, but we realized we really didn't know exactly how to teach our kids to write. So we sought out a lot of help, and we just started looking at the kids' writing and also the criteria for writing. And as the kids got more successful at the criteria we set, we realized we could ask more and more and more. And so we did. It was hard work, and but we realized that once kids wrote things down, that their thinking was down on paper, and that was a great thing, and it really taught us how to keep going. Our teachers worked together in teams. Again, they met every couple weeks. We actually they met every week, I'm sorry. Every couple weeks we met in the cafeteria together and we would share all our data, and it was very exciting. We knew right away when the kids started writing how happy they were. They were so excited to put their thoughts down on paper and to be part of something bigger. They wrote letters to request things like, can we have a play day outside? Can we make hats for our school? And we tried to do almost everything that the kids wrote about because it gave them so much power. Data builds a community. This is our data wall in our office. This is a really exciting thing where we could share our data with our parents and show them our writing and how our scores were going and also our criteria. It was a big old challenge. This is our second grade team who agonized over whether or not kids should have to write a paragraph, or was a sentence or two okay? Do they have to have a topic sentence? Every week was like a new challenge for the second grade team, and it was for everybody. The kids had a hard time. We made them work so hard, and they got discouraged sometimes, and they were not always, it wasn't always like, yay, you're writing, but once they got going and felt successful, they kept on going. We saw a lot of improvement in all kinds of things. Writing was great. Our writing obviously got better, but it was really, really interesting how much writing gave kids power and knowledge to do things even greater than that. We actually, in our first, or I think this was our first year, we sent kids off to the county math contest and off to the spelling bee, and we had all of a sudden, we were showing at the math team and the spelling bee, we had winners from our school, which was kind of amazing. That had never happened before. In addition to this book that we made for ourselves, we were also featured in a book for the Leadership and Learning Center. So our school wrote this together, and we are in here in chapter 2. We are considered a data success story, which was very exciting. We all got together and wrote this chapter and put our data together to show everybody else what we did. And we were featured in several local papers. All of a sudden, we had schools coming to visit us. This is the Leadership and Learning Center publication. We were featured on the cover one month, which was exciting. We were a white paper for the center, and we got to go, actually more than half of my staff traveled together to Vail, Colorado to present what we had done. So we knew we were onto something, and our test scores kept going up. Gradually, not great big jumps, but gradually we got better and better. We were on a steady incline every year after just a few years of doing this. We started to use data for everything. This is just a page from my weekly bulletin. I put weekly data in for everything I could think of, and we started using it to make other things better too, like reading and math. When I changed districts to Santa Cruz, I brought this love of data with me and used it with the people that reported to me, coaches and RTI coordinators, response to intervention coordinators. And they also learned how to use data to change student learning, and it was really exciting. I am now at actually the district office in Hollister, and we also have used data to help our students move forward. And what I find is that people are scared at first, and they don't know how to use data. They don't know how to put it together. When they read it, they always say, everybody always says, we need training. We don't know how to do it. But the more people look at it and kind of pull it apart, and the more that they realize that it's not just numbers, but that it represents student work, the more powerful they feel, the more success they experience, and the more that they keep doing it. And it's a great cycle of learning, and it's called the cycle of inquiry on purpose. So data tells our story, and it turns teachers into leaders. These are our new teachers in Hollister who just did a data fair with the cycle of inquiry that they did throughout the year. My dog even loves data. Isn't that exciting? So this is the end of my success story. I have stuff with me for my own cohort to see of the journey that my school took. It was really exciting, and it definitely has followed me into district leadership. And it's something I can't let go of, because I know that data is the key to the success of changing outcomes for all of our students. Alrighty, that's it for now. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed it.